The American Civil War was a brutal conflict. It tore the nation apart. In the end, the Confederacy was defeated. What happened to its soldiers after the war? Many people believe in myths about their fate. The truth is much more complex. The South lay in ruins. Homes and farms were destroyed. The economy was in shambles. Confederate soldiers returned to a world turned upside down. They faced an uncertain future. Many struggled to find their place in a defeated society. After the war, myths emerged about the Confederacy. The lost cause myth romanticized the South's cause. It claimed the South fought for a noble cause. It minimized the horrors of slavery. It portrayed Confederate soldiers as honorable heroes. Another myth blamed the North for the South's suffering. This Northern aggression narrative ignored the South's role in starting the war. These myths persist today. They obscure the truth about the Confederacy and its legacy. Confederate soldiers faced social stigma after the war. They were seen as traitors by many in the North. Their defeat carried a heavy weight. They had fought against their own country. This made it difficult to reintegrate into society. Some former Confederates faced discrimination. They were denied jobs and opportunities. They were ostracized by their communities. The social wounds of war ran deep. They took generations to heal. The South's economy was in ruins after the war. Many former soldiers found themselves destitute. They had no homes, no jobs, and no money. Rebuilding their lives was a daunting task. The loss of slave labor crippled Southern agriculture. Plantations were abandoned or divided up. Former slaves faced their own struggles for freedom and equality. The economic hardship of Reconstruction affected everyone in the South. Section 5, diverse paths, from Union Blue to foreign shores. Confederate soldiers took different paths after the war. Some chose to leave the South. They sought new beginnings in the West or in foreign countries. Others stayed and tried to rebuild their lives. A few former Confederates even joined the United States Army. They served in the West during the Indian Wars. Their military experience was still valuable. They sought to prove their loyalty to the reunited nation. Section 6, Rebuilding the South, a long and arduous journey. Many former Confederates stayed in the South. They were determined to rebuild their homes and communities. They faced many challenges. The South was under military occupation. Reconstruction policies were resented by many. Despite the difficulties, Southerners persevered. They rebuilt their farms and businesses. They established new schools and churches. The process of Reconstruction was slow and painful, but it gradually laid the foundation for a new South. Section 7, The Road to Amnesty, Forgiveness and its Limits. This chapter delves into the complex and often contentious issue of forgiveness in the aftermath of the Civil War. Amnesty was a key issue in the aftermath of the war. The nation was deeply divided, and the question of how to reintegrate the Southern states and their citizens was paramount. Many Southerners sought pardon for their role in the Confederacy. They were eager to regain their rights and rejoin the Union, but the path to forgiveness was fraught with challenges. President Andrew Johnson issued a general amnesty in 1868. This sweeping gesture was intended to heal the nation and bring about reconciliation. It restored the rights of most former Confederates, allowing them to vote, hold office, and reclaim their property. This was a significant step towards rebuilding the South. However, some high-ranking Confederate officials were excluded from amnesty. These individuals were seen as the architects of the rebellion and were held to a different standard. They had to apply for individual pardons from Congress. This process was lengthy and uncertain, reflecting the deep mistrust that still lingered. The process of granting amnesty was controversial. Many in the North felt that the South was being let off too easily, while others believed that forgiveness was essential for national unity. It reflected the ongoing tensions between North and South. The scars of the Civil War were still fresh, and the road to true reconciliation would be long and difficult. Section 8, Political Reintegration, Confederates in Government. Despite the restrictions, some former Confederates returned to politics. They served in state and local governments. A few even won seats in Congress. Their presence in government was a testament to the resilience of the South. However, the political reintegration of former Confederates was not without its problems. Some used their positions to obstruct Reconstruction efforts. They sought to maintain white supremacy and limit the rights of African Americans. Section 9. Legacy of the Lost Cause, Shaping Historical Narratives. The way we understand history is often shaped by the narratives that are passed down through generations. The myths of the lost cause and Northern aggression continued to influence how people viewed the Civil War. These myths were not just stories, they were powerful tools used to shape public perception and memory. They shaped historical narratives for generations. Around campfires and in classrooms, these stories were told and retold, embedding themselves into the collective consciousness. They romanticized the Confederacy and downplayed the role of slavery. The image of a genteel, noble South was crafted, overshadowing the brutal realities of slavery and oppression. These myths also fueled racial divisions and prejudice. By perpetuating a skewed version of history, they justified segregation and inequality, impacting social and political landscapes for decades. They perpetuated the idea of a noble South defeated by an oppressive North. This narrative painted the South as victims, fostering resentment and resistance to Reconstruction efforts. It is important to challenge these myths and present a more accurate and nuanced view of history. By doing so, we can better understand the complexities of our past and work towards a more informed and inclusive future. Accurate historical interpretation helps us learn from our mistakes and recognize the contributions of all individuals, regardless of their background. Educators and historians play a crucial role in this process. Through rigorous research and inclusive storytelling, they can help dismantle harmful myths and promote a more truthful understanding of history. Modern technology also offers new ways to explore and present history. Digital archives and interactive exhibits make it easier to access diverse perspectives and uncover hidden stories. Community involvement is essential. Local historical societies and community projects can bring to light the stories of those who have been marginalized or forgotten, enriching our collective historical narrative. Reinterpreting historical monuments and markers to reflect a more inclusive history is another step towards healing and understanding. By acknowledging the full scope of our past, we can build a more just and equitable society. Section 10. Understanding the past, informing the present. The Civil War, a pivotal moment in American history, left an indelible mark on the nation. Its aftermath was a period of significant transformation and reflection. The story of Confederate soldiers after the Civil War is complex and multifaceted. These soldiers returned to a world that had changed dramatically, facing the challenge of rebuilding their lives amidst the ruins of a divided nation. It is a story of hardship, resilience, and adaptation. Many soldiers had to find new ways to support their families, often turning to farming or other labor-intensive jobs. Their resilience in the face of such adversity is a testament to the human spirit. It is also a story of myths and misconceptions that continue to shape our understanding of the past. These myths have been perpetuated through generations, sometimes obscuring the true experiences of those who lived through the era. By understanding the diverse experiences of Confederate soldiers, we can gain a deeper appreciation for the complexities of the Civil War and its aftermath. Each soldier's story is unique, reflecting a wide range of emotions and experiences, from sorrow and loss to hope and renewal. We can also learn from the mistakes of the past and work towards a more just and equitable future. By studying these historical events and the people who lived through them, we can better understand the roots of current societal issues and strive to create a world where justice and equality prevail. The lessons of the past are invaluable tools for informing the present and guiding us towards a brighter future. Section 11, join the conversation uncovering history together. The story of the Civil War and its legacy continues to resonate today. It is a story that we must continue to explore and learn from. What are your thoughts on the fate of Confederate soldiers and the myths surrounding the Confederacy? Share your perspectives and join the conversation. Subscribe for more historical content and insights. Together, let's uncover the past and illuminate the present.